We're going to be walking through how to light the pilot on a gas furnace. This is a Honeywell model, and I'll get started. So basically with these things, you want to be really careful. If you smell gas in here, go call a plumber and make sure you shut off the gas line to the house, because this is really dangerous stuff, and just be as careful as you can during this job. You don't need any tools to start the pilot. If the power just went out of your house, or if you turned off the gas recently, that'll kill the pilot on this thing, and that's what we have right now. So we have no hot water, and so we have to relight this. So basically on these units, if you come out from the outside, there's gonna be this little plastic cover here. You can just pull this up, in my case, and away. You can see how these little plastic tabs kind of sit in these holes right here, so try not to break it. You can just set it aside just like that. And in our case, we've got this dial right here on the left. And this is where you can control how hot things are, as well as what setting it's currently in. So I've set this to off, and you want to make sure it's been set to this off position for at least 10 minutes. Otherwise, there's some safety features in this thing that basically won't let it light. So set this thing to off if it isn't already, give it 10 minutes. And then, while you're waiting, this is your gas line that comes in here. And so this gas line, if you just follow it, comes here. You can see that we've got these valves. And so on these valves, if it's parallel to the pipe, that means it's fully open. And if it's like turned sideways like that, that's fully off. So if you wanted to cut off the gas to your gas water here for whatever reason, that's how you do that. But for our case, we're gonna wanna have this thing fully open. And then also note how there's an additional valve upstream of this. This is for our gas furnace right here. But this we're currently doing with is our water heater. So that's on, the gas for our house is on. And so now when you look at this thing, there is a little sight glass right here where you can see where your pilot will be. And so this guy right here, this little tube, is actually a tiny little gas line that goes into here, and that's what supplies the fuel for the little pilot light or flame. That is what gets this thing on in the first place. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this from the off setting to the pilot setting, and then when you push this down, what's happening is it's going to push some gas through this little pilot gas line into our little hole right there. And then so as you're pressing this thing down, there's this guy right here with the little electric thing on it. So that's your little igniter. So when I touch that, you should see something. But yeah, so I'm gonna push this in. And this may take a few moments of basically just holding it like this and pressing this guy. And then you should see this thing light up. So just gonna keep on trying, and we'll come back to that. All right, and so basically after pressing this thing a few times, we have our little flashing blue status light here. So that means we've got normal operation. And I've moved this from the pilot position, and I rotated it to this position right here, set it to A right now. And if you hear very carefully, there should be a little hissing. And I'm sorry if that camera doesn't pick it up, but basically what that is our main flame under this guy. So right now this thing's heating up the water in this thing, and now we're going to give this thing another 30-45 minutes because it's heating up a bunch of water inside this big tank. And then we'll turn on a hot water faucet, and we'll just put this in a little bucket and then check the temperature of that thing. And you basically want to shoot to get this thing around either 130 Fahrenheit or 125, just to be a little bit safer. But that is how you light this thing, and this is what it should look like when it's running as it should. Something I just want to show you too with the light off is that you can now see the flame in our little sight glass right here that is now lighting up. And so all these things are getting really hot in there, and I'm not sure there's any angle you can really see this flame, unfortunately, but just knowing that, like, that's how you know this thing is actually on and burning the gas that's going into it right now. In addition to this blue flashing light, it's pretty important. So yeah, if you see this stuff, this is normal operation. And again, depending on how hot that water is, you're going to want to adjust this knob accordingly, just so you're not going to scald anyone, because in no instance should this thing exceed 130 Fahrenheit when you're opening up just the hot water side. So yeah, again, thanks for watching, and be well.